Hi guys, Stephanie Melzi here, aka Opera Girl in New York City here at the Metropolitan Opera. I'm about to walk into Grounded, a newly commissioned work, and I'm excited to share my experience and review of the opera. Stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for a great interview that I recently held in Los Angeles with legendary producer Val Garay. Val and I talked about his time producing Sarah Brightman, and wait until you hear how Andrea Bocelli was discovered. Really exciting stuff. Looking forward to sharing more content with you guys. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to the Opera Girl channel. I'm Stephanie Melzi, aka Opera Girl, here with legendary producer Val Garay. Val is a Grammy Award-winning producer with a career that spans almost 5 decades. He has helped to create what is known today as the LA Sound. He has garnered over 100 gold and platinum records, 9 Grammy nominations, Emmy nominations, and a Grammy win as producer for Record of the Year for his work with Kim Carnes for the legendary cult hit Betty Davis Eyes, which reached #1 for 10 weeks in Billboard and #1 in 31 countries around the world. To date, Val's music has attained over 125 million record sales worldwide, with artists such as Santana, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Neil Diamond, Linda Ronstadt, James Taylor, Jackson Browne, The Four Seasons, Sarah Brightman, Bonnie Raitt, to name a few. I could go on.
You could.
I could go on. So Val, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate you taking the time with us. And I want to focus on your time working with Sarah Brightman. You produced a record, As I Come of Age, and I'm just curious, your versatility spans so many different artists, and how did you get to working with Sarah Brightman on that track? Can you give me
She actually came to Peter Asher to work with her, and Peter thought I'd be a better fit. Okay. And he was kind of managing me at the time. So he hooked me up with her and suggested that I fly to England and meet with her and Andrew Lloyd Webber, which I did, which was an interesting trip unto itself. Yeah. And she wanted to make a pop record. She'd never made a record other than, the Phantom and, things of that nature. So I thought it was an interesting, challenging project. So I went to England for 10 months. And
wow, 10 months.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Wow.
Because she had a lot of other commitments in the middle, so I had to just stay in England and work when we had the time. And it was funny because Andrew and I became really good friends, and he was an Everly Brothers fan, so he'd sit at the piano every night when we'd have cocktails and sing fake Everly Brothers songs that he would write, which were just unbelievable. And when we'd go out to dinner, they used to have, he had an English taxi cab that he owned, those little black cabs. And so we'd have to put me in the trunk because the paparazzi was so bad in London with him and Sarah that they thought I was having an affair with her, and that was on the front page of the newspapers, and so all the paparazzi were following us everywhere we went. But it was funny. It was funny, but it was fun. And she's an amazing singer, as you know.
Yeah.
And we worked at about 3 different studios around London. I also, on the single, got trying to think of his name. He's the arranger that did all the great string stuff on the Elton John's Leave On. He's the Indian guy. He died recently, but he lived right around the corner from Olympic Studios in Barnes, so it was easy. We could just walk to his house and work on the arrangements and stuff. So it was a fun trip, And she was like, I think we're going to Paris this weekend to record vocals, and so we go to this studio in Paris. It was crazy.
What a time.
Limitless budget.
Yeah, oh, that's always great. That's always a great thing to do. How was she in the transition from going into pop?
Well, funny in a lot of ways, because she would be singing and, she had that English accent, and she'd go, Val,
Wow.
She'd go, should I sing this in chest or full voice? And I go, I don't give a fuck how you sing it. Sing it with feel.
Yeah,
You know, that was my answer usually. But, she had an incredible instrument that she could do just about anything with. And she actually ended up having a huge #1 record right after we finished that album with Andrea Bocelli.
Oh.
A duet
yeah.
that was #1 all over the world.
Yes, and that's a great one. Two great classical crossover artists right there.
Yeah. I found him.
You did?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, I was running the international music division of Warner Brothers Pictures. My friend Gary Lamel, who was the president of it, conned me into it because he said, we want to start the Universal end of the music division of the film company. So I flew to Italy, to Milan, because in every city in Europe, every country in Europe, the film industry is in one city and the music is in another.
Okay.
So in Italy, the film industry is in Rome, and the music industry is in Milan. So that's where Warner Brothers offices were. So I was staying at this gorgeous hotel called the Principe de Savoia, and I was sitting in the room in an afternoon, and I heard this voice because I had one of those TVs on. It was one of those daytime shows, but in Italian, and I was because I love the language. I was listening to them, but I heard this guy come on and start singing, and I ran in the other room and was like, "Holy crap! Who is that?" So I got his name, but at that time he'd never made an album released outside of Italy, and I called Gary and I said, "And we got to get this guy to do the duet we were doing in Italy in the movie," because my idea was, when Warner Brothers started record companies in all these foreign countries, if you put out a duet with Elton John and Celine Dion and released it in Italy, it wouldn't sell as many as Laura Pausini and Andrea Bocelli, because they'd grown that thing so big. So he was signed to this little tiny label called Sugar Records, which was ridiculous, and the woman who owned it was she was like an 80s pop star named Caterina Sugar, who married this multi-millionaire Italian guy, and so he gave her the money to start this record label, and she found him. And everybody and their brother in Hollywood tried to break the contract, and they couldn't. And so I got him, after 6 months it took, with a stack of faxes like this high, I got him in the film to record the male duet part of the song for the movie, and it got nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh my God.
And that's when he broke as a singer, and then he made Romanza, and then the rest is history.
Wow.
But nobody'd ever heard of him in this country.
What an extraordinary story. I knew Sarah Brightman, I knew Andrew Lloyd Webber. You want to add a name of Andrea Bocelli in there? That's great. It's fantastic. That's amazing.
Right place at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, two of the biggest classical crossover artists that exist today.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely.
And a great guy too. I mean, really sweetheart.
Yeah. Oh. I have had the honor to work with you on a couple things now, and I thank you so much. It's been so much fun. I learned so much from you. Of all the people that you have had the opportunity to work with, where do you feel that this project with Opera Girl and what we're doing, and how Nick and Ken and I are building this, how do you feel it has its place? Where do you find its place? And
its place, I couldn't tell you where you find its place. It finds itself.
It finds itself.
That's usually what happens. Classic case would be Billie Eilish. I mean, when I first heard her, I was like, oh my God, where are they going to put this?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, there they did.
I think that's a great
I knew
example.
she'd be successful because she's so unique and different. You have a great instrument, and you do what you do, and it's brave to try to do something like this inside of any kind of a popular vein, because it's kind of opposites, but in the end it's still music, and music is music. So if you can find the audience, boy, you could start a whole new thing. And I don't see that it's impossible, because I went and saw a kid last night, like I was telling you, that plays classical piano. He's probably 25 years old or 24 years old, and unbelievable. And they just spent, like, with orchestrations, they recorded it all in London at Abbey Road. They probably spent $150,000 doing this record, and it's coming out. And they just had a showcase for Grammy week to get him nominated. But classical music doing pop songs, and so you're wonderfully talented. You just have to keep banging away.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's what it takes.
Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. Bye, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.